needs to turn up.
Hi, I'm Junior Giscombe, and you're watching The Real Soundcheck Podcast.
Hi, this is Carl McIntosh from the group Loose Ends, and you are watching The Real Soundcheck Podcast.
What's up, people? This is the boy Omar saying you're watching the Real Soundcheck Podcast.
Good evening.
Ooh, just a moment. What's going on with
Did you say Yves Saint Laurent?
this? See, this is the new look. Boom! There you go. You found it. Thank you. Welcome in. Boom! Welcome in, people. Welcome in. Real Soundcheck Monday flavors. Welcome in, gentlemen. How you doing?
All right, all good.
Mm-hmm. Yo, that didn't sound believable at all, Frick. But we'll cover that in a bit. Though. We will cover aching bones and thing. Welcoming people. The chat has been on fire already, man. Let me go to the top. Welcome in, Mitchy Boo. Welcome in, Miss Naturally J. Buddha Palm, that is me. Miss Naturally J. G-Force Leroy, welcome in the building, brother. You're costing us from the 9 o'clock start. Come on, man. Come on. Behave. Miss Naturally Mitchy Boo. The Diva speaks. T-Dot is in the building. Welcome in, the Diva. Welcome in. Hope you're having a great day. Let's go. Who else we got? We got Mad Trini. How you doing, sis? Welcome in. Simone Daly Richards, how you doing? Welcome in. Freak, put on some background music, bro. What you saying? It's sounding kind of quiet out there, man. My man Friction, down yeso. Yeah, man. Bob the Builder. What you saying, sir? Can he fix it? Mm-hmm. Evening. Dead Bob's in the building. How you doing, sir? Welcome in. Hope you're feeling better, my brother. Who else we got? Melissa Deans. Welcome in, Melissa Deans. Welcome. Chat is flying. Miffy Moments. Welcome in. Yes, sir, people. It's beautiful. It's Monday. It's 9-ish o'clock. You know what I mean? How you doing? And let's see what the man's been doing, man. How you doing, Dave? What's going on, man? How's your week been, bro?
Well, the week itself has been pretty cool. Steady as she goes. But I've managed to acquire some form of cold cough thing that wants to alternate. So, virus. You don't want to use the word, get people banned and stuff.
I was going to say, get us banned off YouTube.
This is it.
Trigger warning. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I use just juices and berries. That's all I use. To try and get rid of it. But most of the weekend was spent recovering, watching YouTube videos, trying to learn some new skills and whatnots, and just recovering.
What have you been watching? What videos?
Well, a variety of things. Futures is interesting me at the moment.
Ooh.
Futures.
We need to do a financial session. We need to do that really and truly, You know what I mean? Come up with a notepad and just Dave just school people. You know what I mean?
Muted.
Say it again, sorry?
No, so grown folks is muted.
Yeah. So
Okay,
I would just bring some things to people's attention. It's not financial advice, but just things you might want to look into, check out and stuff. So at the moment, futures is something that I'm currently taking a look at. Had a look at options. Options is a bit of a madness. I say madness in terms of that it is an industry on top of an industry. That's the way it looks to me. So, and futures is another one. So, yeah, that's how the weekend has been spent. A little bit of that, and then also just researching earbuds, because I lost one earbud unfortunately in the snow. Oh, no. So I've just been going around with one earbud, but people complain that they can't hear me when they are listening to me through the earbuds. So I'm trying to research and find the right one, the right model, but not for some silly price.
Oh no! When did we have snow?
Oh no, I was just thinking of a while back, bro. It's like
we got good weather up here in the Midlands, though.
Yeah, man, it's hot up here. So.
July.
That must have been right after the volcano erupted, wasn't
it? Yeah. That's it.
It was just one of those.
Star knocked it out his ear.
I was running for a train, jumped on the train. Because one of them, last trains that's going, and it's like gone from a different station that you don't normally go to. Jumped on the train, it's like, where's it gone? Yeah, Muku +2. Because it's like, where's it gone? And I'm not jumping off the train to look for it, for me to hear. And then I was the right one.
No, what kind was it?
Oh, what kind was it?
What brand, I guess, is what I'm asking.
JBL AirPods
nice.
3. If I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, yeah.
Those are nice.
Yeah, they're just from PC World. Seem to have pretty good reviews. But yeah, when I'm talking, people hear the other people more than me if I'm taking a phone call.
Yeah.
Maybe you're supposed to put the other side in your ear. Maybe.
all this time, had it in the wrong way.
Backwards.
Oh, I thought it was a bit tight. I thought it was a bit tight. Fellow would sound out to everybody else on the bus. Wow.
That's right. Come here for more technical advice.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's a whole segment that you could have, technical advice. Isn't it?
Technical advice.
For real.
Well, grown folks, how about you, man? How's your week been, brother?
Man, my week has been great, actually. Yeah. Don't ask me what I did, but it was a good week. Had a good time. Yeah, man. Absolutely. Spent time with the wife, hanging out, doing stuff like that. Yeah, really cool. Can't complain.
Nice.
Awesome. Did have some drama.
Oh.
So,
we love a bit of drama. Come
love
on.
a bit of drama. A bit of drama. So, my laptop has been playing up for months now, and I've dealt with Apple on a couple of occasions. What it'll do is there's some process that runs in the background, and it uses up all of my CPU. And when I'm playing, sometimes records will start to skip. So this app is called AMP Agent, something like that, and it's something that's looking at Apple Music, and Apple told me it's trying to resolve an issue from something that hasn't uploaded or something that hasn't completed, so it keeps trying to do this. So I took it into Apple, and they basically replaced the operating system, upgraded to the newest operating system, and I had to come home today. I went to pick it. I dropped it off on Sunday, picked it up today. Had to do a restore from Time Machine, and we'll see if it's okay. But I somehow I don't think it is. So we'll see how it goes. I just finished getting it reset up before we went on air, so we'll see how it goes. So I guess it's kind of a good thing we're not doing music, because who knows what it'll do now.
Yeah,
you see, Apple.
I'm scared of Apple updates.
Who
Yeah,
ain't?
man. Yeah,
My biggest fear is that it auto updates and then none of my software works.
Anxiety.
Yeah, nothing
It's
connects
mad
to it,
anxiety.
Yeah, my MPC stops working, Serato stops working. I'm nervous when it comes to things like that.
Mad anxiety.
Oh, and maybe people in the chat, could you join us as well as gents on screen in congratulating Grow Folks Grooves for 11 years of radio programming, delivering delicious music to the masses. So congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Yep, actually, it's
Yeah, man. Great shot. Fire team shot, Chris. Fire team shot.
That's the one I wanted.
The man had reverb on it and echo
That's the one.
and all sorts.
11 years of reverb on it. Yeah, man. Today's actually the 17th. It's actually Grown Folks Grooves anniversary today. So thank you guys. I appreciate
Fantastic.
Perfect.
Congratulations, sir.
Nah, that's no mean feat, man. Congratulations, grown folks, mate.
Thank you.
Wicked,
Appreciate it,
wicked.
man.
Mr. Friction, man, what are you saying, man? I'm looking in your face and I can see the pain. I can feel the pain, bro.
Yeah, man.
What, go on? Talk to me.
I've been living off ibuprofen for the past 4
I've been
weeks.
broken sandwich.
Ibuprofen and CBD muscle rub. That's
Oh, Lord.
That's my life right now.
Jeez.
My knees aren't my own. My hips, I don't know who my hips belong to, but
You care to elaborate, sir?
yeah, man. I'm 4. I just checked. I started on the 20th of June, so this is the beginning of week 4 of a bathroom renovation. And as much as we're making progress, I look in and I just think, what the heck, man? We ain't getting nowhere. So yeah, man. So I gutted the bathroom on the 20th of June, ripped out the ceiling, ripped out everything, and I've been slowly trying to restore the bathroom. So it's one step at a time: tiling, flipping, boarding, filling holes, creating stud partitions, just the whole nine. So yeah, man, it's taking its toll, man.
Yeah, that's on your own, or do you manage to get somebody into?
So yeah, week 1 I was by myself. My son helped me tear everything down and then cut out. So
Kids
week
love
1
that,
and week 2,
love destroying. They love
yeah,
destroying.
man, they like that part. So week 1 and 2 I was by myself. Week 3, Foxy came and helped. and again, he's injured himself now, so he's in the
Oh,
hospital.
you joking?
So he was actually here last week, listening to the episode, and you're talking about medical care, NHS, and all that.
Yeah.
And we started talking about private care. I phoned him today, and he said he's actually gone private to go and have a look at his issue because he went to the hospital. He thinks he's got a trapped nerve or a slip disc or something. There's something going on. He thought it was his hamstring, but he said he doesn't trust NHS, so he's looking to go private. So that came off the back of listening to the episode last
Really?
week. Yeah, man.
Maybe
Yeah.
a sciatica or something.
Probably, yeah. So yeah, man, we just.
Question from the chat, Frick.
What's it saying?
You got
have I
another bathroom?
So
Is
we've
even
got
deeper worries?
we've got like a closet toilet downstairs, which I built myself as well. Thank you very much. I built a closet toilet in our outhouse downstairs. So yeah, there's a toilet and a sink in there, so you can brush your teeth and whatever. At the moment, I'm working around trying to keep a functional shower. So I'm working my way sort of round towards the shower. So today was the day I took down the old shower screen. So it's literally it's old school style now. It's sit in the bath with a handheld shower and wash yourself.
Like the telephone one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, man.
So I've done as much as I could to get to that stage. I've built the framework, like the base for the shower. So we're basically taking out the bath and replacing it with like a walk-in shower, like a wet room. So we're not gonna have a bath no more because no one uses a bath anyway. We just climb in it to have a shower. So I've built the framework, the base for the shower tray. I've got to build, which I started today, the framework because we've got like concealed pipes. The shower that my wife's bought because she's a bit bossy.
just in case anybody doesn't hear.
Just is a little bit high. But I love it. That's why I love her. Because mine is just as high and I'm just as bossy. But yeah, so she bought a shower with concealed pipes. So I've got to build a bloody framework to hide the pipes. And it's a lot of work. So you know the ones where it's like you realise I've kind of beaten off more than I can chew here, but I'm committed to see it through to the end. So,
You got it. You got it.
You got it, man.
this
You got
far.
this, man.
You'll finish
You got
it.
this, man.
Yeah, you finish it.
You got this. How long you think it's going to take you? How long left?
Well, it's like I said, it's week 4 now. I would say by next week we should be ripping out the bath. Because the thing is, obviously, I'm doing it around work as well. Because I've still got some projects I'm working on.
Yeah.
So Monday's a write-off. I totally committed Monday to the building project. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I do my consultancy, and then Friday back in the bathroom. So yeah.
That's an interesting one, to remove a bath just for the shower.
It's a touchy subject, let me tell you, because we did that against my advice.
It's one of them. I don't want to say I told you so, but I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we don't have a bathtub,
Yeah.
and I'm a bit warm about that, but you know
Really?
that's a subject for another day.
The only person who fought for the bath, who voted for the bath, was my daughter Shania. Everyone else was like, yeah, man, we don't care. Like, we just have showers. It's all good.
She's smart because you see how you feel now. Wouldn't you love to sit in a hot bath?
I don't know, you know. Honestly, I've never been. I ain't got the patience. I sit in the bath and I'm like, oh, like, come on, man. I'm ready to go. I'd rather just have my shower, clean up, and go and lie down in my bed, or just lie in my bed and whatever.
We had that bathroom done early in January,
Hold on,
and it was what?
Lady J's comment.
Yo,
That's why you need the handheld. You get me? You gotta have that handheld part.
For those listening back on Spotify, Lady J said, "I like my being washed properly." The rear. Yes.
Yeah, man, you need the handheld.
Like one of them
part.
kosher washers. You know?
Gosh, I was, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
To be honest, if we had
Peeling
space,
skin off, son.
we would have got a bidet. But our bathroom's not big enough.
Yeah. Well, you're saving the space now because you've got rid of the bath. The top.
Yeah.
Maybe you got more floor space. I don't know.
Bidet, yeah.
Bidet.
Bidet, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe a few moments would fight for the bath.
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
So we actually almost reverted last week. So at one point last week, I said, you know what, allow it, man. Send back the shower tray. Let's get a bath. And that was just because of having to move the pipes. Like having to move the pipes.
All of a sudden, you know what? I like
like-
it back, you know.
For
Yeah,
no
man.
reason other than that.
That's it. I looked at the pipes. I thought, oh, flipping it, man. I've got to relocate all them pipes.
You're brave. You're
about
brave
that.
because I don't
Like for
touch
like.
plumbing. I
Yeah.
don't touch plumbing. I'll play with some electricity, but I will,
Play with
not,
it, really? Okay.
I will not touch plumbing because you can't stop that water.
No, I enjoy plumbing, man. I like plumbing and carpentry. Tiling, I'm really not a fan of tiling. I've got to say, it's the worst. After everything I'm doing at the moment, the tilings, I look at it, I just think, oh, flipping it, man. The cuts, and then when you imagine you spend a lot of time measuring, marking, cutting, and then all it takes is that one little kink, and it's gone. That's it. But I've only brought one tile so far. I've been tiling for 2.5 weeks. I've only brought one tile so far, but yeah. And as for electrics, I like electrics, but it's too dangerous, man.
I don't ramp with electrics. I ramp with plumbing, but I won't ramp with
The
electrics.
electric,
at
you
all.
can cut the electricity off, man.
Yeah,
You can
you
cut
can
that off.
shut the water off as well. As long as you
There's
got a
some
good
water
stop.
somewhere. There's still
tap.
some water running from somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
You
We
can't
did have
tell
a
me
mini
there
flood
ain't
the
water
other
running
day.
from somewhere.
But I took the radiator off the wall and forgot to bleed the radiators.
Oh no!
I was like, whoa, whoa. That's it now. So yeah. Luckily it's warm now. We've got no central heating at the moment because I can't be bothered to sort of loop the system back. So I just left it and turned the heating off. So we've got hot water. But we just got no we've got no central heating. But it's nice.
It's warm enough to dry out anyway.
We're saving money. That's
Yeah, I
it.
mean, it's warm enough. It's warm enough,
Yeah.
man.
Wow. Miffy
some
says I
people
look
that-
mildly traumatized by plumbing.
Plumbing
memory.
memory.
Wow.
Lord.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
I'll tell you one thing. You see, insurance companies are wicked, you know, because actually everyone check your building and contents insurance because a lot of them don't cover for escape of water.
Really?
Yeah, or you have to pay an extra excess fee. So you have like you got your general excess fee, your general cover, but if it's an escape of water, there's an extra fee on top of it.
Yeah.
Because it's so common, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, but I just don't get it though. It's like it's insurance at the end of the
know.
day. You get
And
me?
they don't pay to fix your problem. So if there is some kind of a plumbing problem,
Oh yeah,
they don't pay to fix that.
yeah.
they'll do the
repair the
decorating.
damage. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, man. So you've got to arrange for someone to come and
It's
fix.
It's true.
Yeah.
They'll make it all look nice, but you better fix the problem yourself.
That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Gotta love insurance companies.
Yeah, man.
Beautiful.
I'd love to have a conversation about insurance at one point. Maybe not on air because we don't want to give anyone any ideas. But I'd be interested to hear how. No, what I will say is I've heard how some people utilize their insurance policies, and I'm a man. I can't really do that because I'd feel bad. But
Yeah,
I heard some people guarantee make an effort to make at least a claim a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
an effort, you know.
And there's people like yourself and sounds like me just pay the frigging premiums year after year, week after week, and I claim nothing. Yeah, man.
But doesn't that run their premiums
Premium
up,
up,
though?
yeah.
If
The
they
premium
claim
goes
it
up.
every year.
It goes up anyway, but their take on it is, you know what? I need some new carpets. Listen,
Oh wow.
I've heard man getting new carpets, new sofas. You get me? Getting the kitchen redone, all that stuff. Yeah, man.
All of that
man.
is possible. It is
Yeah.
possible.
And if you
Could
work it out,
even
if
to-
you're getting you're getting your whole front room recarpeted.
Allegedly.
I know nothing of this.
do not condone any
And it's very clever. It's very clever as well because if
I
your
was in a
carpet
pub.
in your living room
I was
is
in-
the
overheard
same
the conversation.
as in the hallway and everywhere in your house, they have to match it.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
I
But
know
even to
nothing of
Kamzi, who's also saying that you should check your insurance policies very carefully.
Indeed.
And G-Force Reload is saying that premiums go up same way, just like you guys saying. But then not as much as if you claim repeatedly.
Yeah.
Lenny J said, we need details, man.
I know
Then
nothing
there's
of
no-
this.
Don't go down that road.
Loopholes
It's a
in that
slippery
lane.
road.
Behave.
Yeah.
Just in case. I remember Chris Rock talking about it, saying insurance is just in case.
Yeah, man.
And if nothing happens, shouldn't I get some of my money back?
Exactly. That's like car insurance, man. Car insurance. I just think to myself, it's a tick box. It's another tax. They're taxing us because really, unless my car was a total write-off, I ain't trying to claim because I don't want to lose my no claims bonus, and I don't want my premiums to go up. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like
stealth tax.
It's literally that's it. It's a tick box just to be legal. Now
It's a
for me, exactly. I look at it like this. Yeah, if I turn around and says, look, I've got 10 grand put down in the account, that 10 grand is to cover the replacement of my vehicle or the damage I would cause to someone else's. I should be able to write a waiver to say I'm covered, because you get me. If I mash up my car and I can't replace it, that's woe is me. That's on me. If I mash up someone else's car, it's on me to sort them out.
Yeah.
Do you get me? So if I could say I've got a pot of money put down, I will cover that. You get me? I should be able to write a waiver and say I'm covered.
Yeah.
That's it.
That opens up some interesting possibilities in terms of what they're trying to bring in, which is the CBDCs, because then how do you confirm that you have that 10,000 and that you're still maintaining that 10,000 3 months later, 6 months later? You might decide, you know what, I'm building a new bathroom, let me use that 10,000.
But that's it. But even there, like, that makes sense. That makes sense. You should, if it's a case of, okay, you have to declare, there's the account, boom, screenshots, you get me, it's there, or whatever, they can look in the account to see it's there.
Or it can be put in escrow.
Exactly. It's going to work out better than you.
But what about personal damages? Heaven forbid, somebody gets in the would say somebody allegedly gets into an accident and there's a loss of life. That 10 G's ain't gonna cover that.
But you see, the premium for that might be lower, so it's then a bit more manageable, I guess, in certain senses. I don't know, what's the average car insurance these days?
Yeah, sorry, hold on. So
Depends
if
on
I
the
lick
car,
down someone,
driver's record.
if I'm driving and I knock someone over and, it's a fatal accident, am I liable to cover the cost of them losing their life?
I think
Depends if
there
you
is
terms
a
of personal
possibility that
driving
there
or
could
something,
be-
I guess.
Yeah. They could be, or you don't kill them, they're just severely
Hospital.
injured. Yeah.
Boy.
Life-changing, injuries.
Yeah, I mean, car insurance is a rip-off, regardless of whichever way we look at it. It's a rip-off.
Bottom line.
They're
Bottom
betting
line.
that it won't happen, and you're betting that it will. That's what it comes down to.
That's it.
And then even if you do claim, they just put up the premium to claim that back from you.
Exactly. Anyway,
yo, shall we get crack-a-lacking?
let's
Let's
do it.
start it off.
What's up, people? This is your boy Omar saying you're watching the Real Soundcheck podcast.
All right, so my man Friction brought up this topic in the chat this week. Interesting one, Frick. You want to elaborate on it, bro?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I feel like anytime it's my time, we end up talking about DJ related stuff. on the nose.
I'm not mad at it, man. I'm not mad at it.
Right on the nose.
Got a vested interest.
So yeah, man, I was thinking about this over the weekend because I actually spent some time this weekend just practicing. I never done no live streaming. I just set up my Rev 7 on the dining table, hooked up my laptop, and just spent some time just messing about with different tunes, different mixes, and whatever. And it got me thinking about, collectively as a group, how do we and others practice? Do we practice? Do we have an allotted amount of time for us to say, okay, I'm doing my thing, I'm just going to practice and go through my tunes and whatever, sort out my library. And is it a regular thing? Is it something you do once a month, weekly? And what does your process look like? So that's what I'm bringing to the table to my fellow DJs. I was hoping it would have been more of us here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure between us, we can share our process. But like I said, mine usually is, so I usually treat my streams, I sometimes treat them like practice. Like there's times where I'm just freestyling, I just go in there and just freestyle. But like I said, over this weekend, it was yesterday, I just set up my Rev 7 on my dining table and was just messing about, like nothing serious, just literally messing about, seeing what works, seeing what don't work. you know, playing tunes that I wouldn't usually play in a live stream, just being really kind of free just to do what I want. And off the back of that, you know, I found a few tracks that would work together, moved a few things around into different folders. So, but it's not something I do religiously. You know, I mean, I haven't got like a regular set time for that.
Yeah, I would say I haven't got a set time for it, but I'd say I'll switch on and power up my decks probably 5 days out of 7. Yeah, whether it's just playing stuff or letting things run on Serato and then messing about with what mixes with what. Especially doing these the blends that I've been doing. Just I'll get an idea in my head and I try it and I go, no, that don't work. And then oh yeah, actually that works. And then I put those into a folder, and then come back to them like later. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm just sort of
sorry. Let me just answer G-Force. He says for us non-technical folks, what's a Rev 7? So it's an all-in-one mixing unit. So it's similar to Tech's got the Rain, you've got the Rain 1. So it's just a mixer with 2 built in. So yeah. So I've got my decks upstairs and I've got that downstairs. So yeah, carry on.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I'd probably 5 out of 7 days it's switched on. As in practice, like I'll mess around mixing like when I'm doing my streams. To be honest, the last couple of weeks I haven't been streaming on a Thursday playing music. I've been doing my watch longs on a Friday. So yeah, so sort of prolonged, because I think sort of what I find is when I start off, it's kind of, I feel a bit clunky, but then after a bit of time, it kind of loosens up and things flow. And I think like you were saying about sorting out your library, I think over the last year or so, I've probably done it like about 3 times, man. Serious. You get like Rain Man on it and just completely rearrange things and labeling stuff and get a bit OCD on it. So sort of finding things is getting easier. You know what I mean? It's not perfect yet for me anyway, but yeah, it's just an ongoing process. You know what I mean? And I think what I found as well over the last probably month or 2 months, I've made a conscious effort not to buy any more music and just learn what I've got. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because I go on like a Bandcamp rabbit hole and it's just, I've just got a big dump of music and I haven't played the last load of stuff that I've got. Do you know what I mean? So I've tried to make a conscious effort, even though I'm going to bought something this week. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's it's hard. It's hard because it's too easy to get music now. You know what I mean? And I've got a load of music that I'm like, yeah, that's all right, man. But you can't just keep the ones that are all right because you're not going to play them. You want to play things that you like, that's good, not just like all right. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's me.
That's
I was going to say
question, but carry on. I'm
with Friction and you saying that you played downstairs. Do you ever do sessions and then your kids are sort of jamming as well, and they're asking you to play certain songs?
Yeah, that's exactly. So last night, my wife worked. She worked away Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Came back last night. So it was just me and my daughter. You know, I just finished work. She came in, and yeah, I was more or less playing for her. So yeah, I got it on the big speaker downstairs, and I'm just entertaining the household. So yeah, sometimes we have a little jam out
on some big dirty speakers.
Yeah. Just one. just one.
No, not quite. Just one.
Yes, big up DJ Croc in the building. Comment from Croc.
Salute.
He says, I don't take time to practice at home. I treat my live streams and some of my gigs as practice. I need to practice more at home because I end up digging in my own crates and discovering music I didn't even know I had or remember that I had. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I tend to sometimes, like when I'm working, because like my decks are just behind me here, and I work here. This is my sort of working desk, my little office. And what I tend to do is just put my Serato on, find a crate. I've got like a crate that I've smart crates in Serato where I've said, right, okay, anything that I haven't played less than 5 times ever, put in this crate. And then I just play through that. I just let it run. Do you know what I mean? And if anything, I think, no, I don't want that. Well, why? What's that? Completely forgot about that. Then I'll put it somewhere else, you know?
Yeah.
And the joke was, I don't even know how many songs I've got on my laptop, but there was like literally about 20,000 songs that I've played less than 3 times of my time. Do you know what I mean? That's
Sorry, was that
ridiculous,
20,000?
20,000.
I haven't even got that many songs on my whole
Yeah, thousands. Yeah, I've got like about 50 or 60,000 tune on there, and about 20,000 I've never. Like, there was some I've never played.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
And the last time you backed up your hard drive was when?
No, that's too long.
About 3 years. Yeah.
Way too long.
Like 3
That's way too
3
long.
weeks. Okay,
About
that's
3
not
weeks
bad.
ago.
Yeah, man, that's good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to buy any more music because I want to sort out what I've got here before I back up again. Do you know what I mean? So,
How long does your backup take? Because it sounds like the backup must take like just start in the morning and then come back in the evening.
just leave it doing its thing, man. Yeah, days.
So do you
Like
back up to an external hard drive? You got an external? Yeah.
I've got external and cloud.
Yeah, man.
And cloud, okay.
Ooh, that's dope.
Which cloud service are you using?
All of it.
Google.
You did?
All of it.
all the clouds.
Amazon
AWS.
web server. All of it.
I got my own data center. Oh man.
Too much, man. It's got too much. I think it's kind of like when you start off, you just got right, more is more. You know what I mean? And it's not at all. You just got to know what you got. There's no point having it if you don't know you got it. Do you know what I mean? And it's labeled properly and you can find it.
What I find about that is part of my problem is music is, and we've talked about this before, it becomes disposable because you'll find something and it'll be like banging. You'll listen to it, like you say, maybe 2 or 3 times, and then something else comes along, and then something else comes along, and next thing you know, you can't even remember. For me, I can't even remember the name of that tune that was banging 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. So yeah, you end up going through, I guess, that cycle, and it'll be one of those things where you just have to listen to your library to find stuff that you haven't played before. For me, I don't necessarily practice. Sometimes I will come in and I will mess with something. Like I may have been listening to Spotify or something, and an old song will come on, and it will remind me of another song, and then I'll come and try to see how those two would work together. So I'll do a lot of that kind of stuff. And matter of fact, on my last live stream, I had a ball. I went all over the place. I was on for 3 hours, and I started out playing some kind of love songs, ended up with soca. It was like a madness. It was a madness.
Ended up on the kitchen worktop. Like, how did it end up here?
Wow.
2 feet in the sofa. Wow.
If your moments remembers it was a great mix.
Thank you. Yeah.
Heavy.
What's your process, Dave?
Well, I think when you guys were talking, I was just thinking, I don't actually practice, and I can't remember the last time I did practice. It used to be something I did when I first was picking up vinyl, and I was practicing in terms of this song goes before that song. Oh no, that song, it loses the energy. Let me swap the songs around. Okay, let me try this beat with that beat. Let me find a way to transition from this into that. And the practice element, I don't know when it faded away. Maybe when I went to laptop, it faded away. But I think also maybe when I started doing radio properly, that's when I wasn't necessarily mixing as much. So the practice element wasn't necessarily needed. And yeah, it would just be, even necessarily to practice a show, I wouldn't practice a show. I would just have maybe the first 3 songs prepared. Then after that, it'll just be free flowing. Whatever kind of came to me, I would play. But I'd have more grasp of the songs. There was a limited amount you could bring. Now, when you've got 50,000 songs, which I don't have, but somebody on this podcast does have 50,000 songs.
I'd all sound like this.
But
That should be our next
remembering
challenge,
the songs.
do a play-a-thon.
A playathon.
Yeah, Tex just got to play all his songs in his Serato from start to finish.
Because I'm sure it says like, I
It'll
don't,
be weeks.
is it
X
Apple
amount
that
of
you've got
hours.
as well?
It'll be months.
Is it all in iTunes as well?
No, it's not all.
Okay, because that tells you how long, and that must be like, you know, you've got 9 years, 37 days, 4 hours, and 3 days.
20, 30 something. Oh god.
Yeah. So if it was vinyl, I think I'd probably be playing around with it more. Since it's come over to the sort of controller era, I haven't really practiced as much, which I should do. But you kind of get into a feel of what you would play when you're out, and I think I've really sort of backtracked from what I used to be. It used to be like a hobby, but it's not as much of a hobby now. So the songs that I'm listening to on the go, as opposed to I had to come home to put it on and get ready. You know, you're at work or on the way home.
Yeah.
You might be able to have a tape with you, one tape, 90 minutes. You wouldn't have the breadth and depth of what you can have on Spotify. So yeah, it's not been the same.
You mentioned tapes. That's one thing I've found really useful in terms of sort of not being at my decks practicing, but just sort of mentally processing, is recording my sets. So, you know, I record all of my live streams, I record them, and there's times where I'll just be in the house and I'll just put one on and listen back to it. And that helps because oftentimes I'm freestyling, and then when I hear something, I was like, oh yeah, I like the way that worked. I'll then incorporate that, you know, and I'll just make a mental note to say, yeah man, those two back to back work together, or I like the way that happened, or never do that again, you know. And then just sort of, you know, making a mental note and then incorporating that when I play another time. But yeah, recording the sets definitely helps with that process.
Yeah, because I've got you know, I found a whole heap of tapes. I got the tapes. I found that Talk Time 2 one the other day. I don't know where Talk Time 1 is, but I'm just thinking now that there's a couple of tracks. There's a track by Snoop called "Love Me or Leave Me Alone." Love the track, but because I haven't listened to the tape, and because it's not coming up on Spotify, and because I don't really have it on my system, I forgot about it. Forgot about it. So it's already archived itself in a sense, until you kind of think back to. There was a remix of Destiny's Child.
No.
Well, there's that Camdino Soul remix, which is kind of nice. There's a Camdino Soul remix of that. And there's also the remix of Independent Woman, which is a bit more staccato in its approach. Nobody's playing it, but again, it's one of those tracks where you'd have to practice what you're going to mix it with, because it just doesn't conform to the usual standard. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So a comment from Croc said, I find regularly organising these music crates equally, if not more important than practicing. Yeah, agree.
Yeah. And that's it. I mean, obviously I use the language practicing. I think it's more just that the preparation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, that's probably more the better term to use.
Yeah. And I think with me as well, what also happened, because I transitioned from one set of systems to another, so from non-Apple to Apple, and I lost access to a whole heap of songs that were a specific file type. So again, they archive themselves, so I don't have access to that. So I feel like I'm not quite as comfortable as I used to be when playing. So I should really go through and try and organize things, but it's the time.
Were they the protected files, or are they just Windows media files?
Windows media files, yep.
You can convert them. You can get a converter and convert them.
Okay, I've tried a couple and it just hasn't seemed to properly take in them all. I don't know what it is. I'll try again, but it just didn't seem to want to do what I wanted it to do. And then you have to put them back into the crates that you had on the old system. Now you got a new system. Yeah. And how do you organize your? Sorry?
When I did mine, I used something called Sidify or something similar to that, and it converted them. It didn't take forever, but it took quite a while to do it, but it did convert it. But then you have to, the problem that you were just mentioning, where do you put them? Because it doesn't organize them again.
Exactly.
And that's the work, really. The work is the locating of the music. You know, my worst nightmare, like if my laptop was to break down, I can replace my laptop, But the thought of having to sit down and get all that music back on my computer, do all the cue points, put them all in there, right? I just think, no, I'll just retire. I'll just allow it.
Brutal.
Yeah. And it's a shame because there'll be tracks that you've got from back in the day that will be like, oh my gosh, that track is. I was in Tesco earlier, and if they got the CCTV of me, you see me smiling like a madman. They were playing one old time pop song by Andrew Gold. It's probably one of my favorite tracks of all time, and I'm just like, just so you seeing it, skinning teeth, and even one guy looked at me and he was sort of smiling and said, "Yes, love this tune." So it's a shame that we have to kind of archive our stuff in that way. It just happens that way.
Yeah. Just on that point, I just remembered. So last Wednesday, I went to the Jill Scott concert at Hammersmith Apollo.
How was it?
It was amazing.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it was a great concert. One of the best shows I've been to in a very, very, very long time.
I've heard mixed reviews on the sound. Yeah, it was a live band, and the band was crunking, and there were times where vocals got a little bit lost, but it wasn't to the point where it wasn't Angie Stone, put it that way. I went to see Angie Stone, people were shouting, "Angie, we can't hear you," to the point where they were going to start booing. People were going to start throwing bottles at the sound man behind the desk. It was that bad. This wasn't that bad. Anyway, the reason I bring it up is because the warm-up DJ, there was no supporting acts, there was a warm-up DJ, and I don't know who he was. I don't know what his name was. He was from England. He sounded like he was from London. And when I say this guy took that opportunity for granted, you got a arena full of people. It's probably about 3,000 people. My man, who was playing a couple of tunes, doing a few cuts here and there.
Don't tell me play Candy. Don't tell me.
Yeah.
It worse. Wow. He put it on autoplay and walked off. Went back to business. To the point where the doors open at 7:00. Yeah, she never came on till 9:00 for 2 hours. Something's just looping, and he kept on coming out going, "Yeah, a few more from me. You ready to hear Jill Scott? Who's here to hear Jill Scott?" Yeah. And then he's gone again.
Oh no!
And then he come back out.
Could not be asked.
What he done? He came back out and he went, "He wants some dancehall." I thought, no, don't you dare! Don't you dare play no dancehall.
It's a Jill Scott gig. Wow.
Listen, but what it made me realise was some people ain't passionate about their job. Like you've got the opportunity. You're meant to be warming up the crowd. I was like this, like to the point where Jill Scott's now got to come out and hype people back up.
Yeah.
Because they've got a job to do. They've got a job to do. It's not just you're going to just play some songs. You're there to keep the crowd in a certain energy ready for the artist.
Yeah. We need to find out who this guy was. I need details.
Man, I can't believe that.
Because I thought, like Croc says, how do these guys get on? I thought to myself, if I had the opportunity, I'm going all out.
Yeah, man, shell up the place.
I'm shelling down the place because it's my job to hype you up. So when the artist comes out, you're already on 10. They take it to the next level.
Yeah.
My man had his set up there. Like I said, he cut up a few little Tribe Called Quest and jigger and whatever, and he was just like, "Oh, allow it, and just walked off. And just left it on loop.
When I went to the Chris Rock show, the DJ that they brought over, he was horrible. I don't even know what they paid airfare for this dude to go on tour with him, and it was ridiculous.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. I remember going to see when Ty supported Cypress Hill in Birmingham, and we went up there with him and what's his name, Mixmaster Mike. You remember Mixmaster Mike? He tore the place down to the point where to the point where he's like, "Yo, this is as live as the show." My man went to town. He was going nuts. Like people losing their minds. Like, this is how it's meant to be. You don't have a supporting act. Have a support DJ.
Yeah,
you get me? My man done his thing. He really went to town.
You know what? You know what's disappointing as well? I went to see Slum Village, Nottingham, earlier this year, and when I say Slum Village, it was T3. Do you know what I mean? And two other man. You know what I mean? And they had a guy that was DJing. I don't know if he was a DJ or not, man, but he
Oh,
was. It wasn't.
He
it
was
wasn't.
playing music.
Yeah, it wasn't, man. It
put a
wasn't
few
good. I don't, well, he obviously wasn't familiar with the kit because they were using CDJs,
Yeah.
and it was didn't. It wasn't working, man. It
He
wasn't
was like,
working.
he was like, where does the CD go?
Yeah,
Where's the
it,
eject button?
it wasn't working, man.
I need to turn up with vinyl.
Yeah, with a cassette.
Where did
No,
these
no.
go?
Cassette, you know.
Yeah, it was.
Well, yeah, man, it
wasn't
was sad, man. Because I thought, like we said, it was a golden opportunity. You've got a chance there. Like if it was me, you get me. I'm looking at this like there's about 3,000 people here. I'm rocking the stage and I'm shouting out my name like, yeah, man. You got DJ Friction warming up the place. You get me?
Friction cuts it
And
up.
another one.
Pure bombs, pure wolf, pure wolf howling.
Everybody.
And another
Just to let
one.
them know, you get me. I'm rocking the place. I'm warming up the place. I thought, nah, man.
Exactly. It sounds like when
Give
Croc
it a
was
chant
warming
and
for
everything.
Talib. He was saying, "I'm making sure that by the end of the Talib knows my name."
Listen,
See that?
I
Yeah,
felt
man.
sorry for Talib Kweli, honestly. Boy,
Chuck is going in.
man was beating the walls. He's going nuts in there. Yeah, man. I would not have wanted to come on after that. Yeah. To be honest, I actually thought he was performing. I didn't think he was doing a DJ set. When I seen him take out his laptop, I thought, rah. Good luck. You best get the mic and start rapping, bro, because Mama just shelled down the whole chip shop. I see man backspinning and windmilling on broken glass. I'm not even joking. It's crazy.
But again, you know,
Okay,
that's
easy, man.
in terms of the prep, and it'll be interesting. I don't even know if Croc said that he prepped for that, or he just had a different mindset.
Yeah.
Because he's got the ability already. But was it just a different mindset in terms of I'm going to make sure he knows, and that just brought out a different thing in him?
Yeah.
Or was it a case of he said, right, I'm going to play this, I'm going to play this, I'm going to play this, I'm going to play this in terms of prep?
Yeah.
I mean,
Even like when Shorty Blitz, so I saw him at
Man said, to destroy.
Destroy. If he dies, he dies.
Nice, innit? Draw out the thing, man. Draw out the thing.
oh, come test the rocket launcher. Sorry.
Wait, man, I saw Blitz open up for KRS-One and for Souls of Mischief, and both times you could tell he's come to work. I ain't come here to just play music. I'm working. You get me? I'm making you like, yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. That's how it should go. That's how it should go, man. You come there to put in the work. But I was terribly disappointed. Terribly disappointed.
Yeah.
So somebody asked the question earlier. How do these people get on? Is it just it's not what you know, who you know type
It's
thing, or
gotta
what,
be
what is
who
it?
you know. They know the
It's gotta
promoter.
be.
It's got to be that.
What-
Yeah.
It's easy to find
Because it's
someone who
always the same
actually
people just
cares
about
and actually
doing
got
those
talent, though,
gigs.
surely. Sorry.
It's just about always the same people doing certain gigs. Like if you go to Jazz Cafe and if it's a certain kind of artist, you'll notice, or you know the promoter, you'll know. Okay, well, one of these three people will be DJing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's reminded me of a clip that I saw with Biggie. He was on stage and the DJ's playing stuff, but he kept messing up.
Through the bottle of him.
I felt for him, you know. I felt,
Imagine
you
that,
know?
Not even from the audience, from the artist who's
From the
performing.
artist,
close range one as well when he's not listening.
Ding. Yeah, man. But yeah, it's true. How did these guys get on, man? I mean, again, the KRS-One concerts, big KRS-One, you know, and Croc will back me up on this. The supporting act, people were literally like just talking over him, conversations. He was like, my man was just performing to himself. Nobody cared. To the point where it was just like, bro, come on. And he was on for long. He done his whole album. I don't know who he is, but he done his whole album. And it was just like, yeah, this is the wrong. Whoever picked this person ain't got a clue. Like they
But
just
you know
put him
what?
on because he's either his brethren or he's on the same. He's got the same management as or the promoter, whatever it is. There's a link.
He was
But
cheap.
was that due to his performance, or was that due to the crowd just being disrespectful and ignorant? Because
No.
sometimes you do have crowds.
No.
They know that an artist is up there, and they just don't care. They're just holding the conversation.
No, man, we gave him a minute, man. We gave him some time, and it got to the point where it's
Oh,
like,
okay.
nah, bro, it's a wrong fit. Yeah, perfect, wrong person for the gig. He wasn't bad. He just wasn't the right fit. He was more that kind of slow, kind of. Have you heard of Sonny Jim?
Yeah.
So his voice sounded like Sonny Jim. His bars didn't. Yeah, and his production,
You know Sonny
the
Jim?
production-
Well, he wasn't no Sonny Jim.
he was Jimmy's son.
Sonny
And the production sounded like Griselda off Wish. If you ordered a Griselda beat off Fiverr, I'll make you a Griselda beat for $5. Upgrade and get it in 24 hours.
And it's gonna be in WAV.
Yeah, he just wasn't a good fit.
Jimmy's son, you know, flipping it, mate.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Well, that wasn't
So,
him.
yeah,
He wasn't that.
I don't know how they get on, but it's disappointing.
So people in the chat, talk to me, man. Have you ever been to a gig and the support, either act or the DJ, just was not up to scratch? Name and shame, man. Talk to me.
Yeah, or the other way around, where you've been to an event and the support act, you've just been like, "Raw, that was good."
Yeah.
Like you were pleasantly surprised at the supporting act.
So I'm trying to think back now at gigs where the supporting act were firing. I'm trying to think.
I'm sure there's been a couple where I thought, you know, or sporting acts that later on have come out and become, you know, really well known. And in
I
the
remember
UK,
going to
I guess
see-
it's not really that. Yeah, go on.
No, finish, man. Finish. Sorry.
No, I was only going to say in the
Okay,
UK
sorry.
because I used to try and I tried to, you know, follow UK artists and try and show them support on the shows and stuff. And there's not many that I've known to be good but crossed onto the main kind of awareness of who they are and stuff.
Yeah, I had the other way around. We went to go and see Lauryn Hill at the NEC in Birmingham. And we walked in, and I thought the band was just sound checking and warming up. I didn't realize it was an actual support act. It was early, so these guys are doing their thing. We're just getting drinks and getting our seats, and just the lights are still on, and we're just talking. And all of a sudden, I heard "Cool Like That," a beat like that. I thought, right, that's Big All Planets. I thought, nah. But that was the last song they'd done. So we've chatted through the whole of the set, you know. They're just there up there, just jamming like it's nothing. I thought if I knew them, I would have paid more attention. Like, I felt bad.
Funny.
There was the last song they done. I thought, no, disrespectful, man. Chatted through the whole
I
set.
remember going to watch Cypress Hill in Wolverhampton, and they were supported by Funk Dubious
Wow.
and the Hoodlums. Is it the Hoodlums? Oh, Hooligans. The Hooligans.
Hooligans. Okay, wow.
The Hooligans.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
Hooligans.
You know, Alchemist
was
used to be in the
Alchemist.
Hooligans. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got
man.
photo with them. It was up at
Yeah.
Civic Hall, Wolverhampton
Yeah.
style, man. The
No
big
way.
Alchemist, man, that this big. Yeah. The Hooligans. And I remember when they came, I've never heard of them, you know.
Yeah.
And they were going, what was their tune? Was it Stick 'em Up?
I
It's
think
the-
so, yeah.
My dad, yo, the play tore the place down. These little youths.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, these wasn't. And then Funk Dubious came on. The guy came on with like I think it was like a South American country flag round his. He had a hoodie on, the
Yeah.
flag round his neck. Son Doobie killed it as well. I was like, I thought they were better than Cypress Hill. Both of them, they were dangerous.
Yeah. What year was that, Tech?
Mate, I think it's
Probably around
about
94.
Yeah, about 93, 94. Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause I think I was in America when they came. I missed that one.
yeah, man.
That
Fuck,
would have been
mate,
94.
absolute killers, both of them, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Freaking
Did
hooligans.
you, Diva Speak says support act was Kanye West for Talib, and he wasn't that good. So her and her stepsister left early.
Wow.
I think the word she used was shite.
Yeah. So sorry, Diva. Can we just
The terminology used was
confirm
shite.
who wasn't that good? Who was shite? Was it Talib Kweli or was it
Kanye, I
Kanye?
think she's saying.
Okay. Because if you left early, you would have missed the whole show if you were supporting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Melissa Dean says when Chris Rock came to Brixton Academy, could not stay awake, but the opening act was funnier than him.
Oh no.
Who was the opening act? Who was
Funnier
the opening
than
act?
Chris Rock? That yeah, okay.
Because Richard
There was
Blackwood.
a time when he wasn't that funny.
Remember John Witherspoon?
Yeah, man. You must killed us.
£10 later.
Oh, literally nearly kill people, man.
Hold on. Pull up Bigger G. We need to talk about this. Bigger G says the DJ for the Black Street at O2 was a bit dry due to the sound levels being low. If it's the same concert I went to, the Black Street show was dry as well. Never mind the DJ. If it's the same one where it was like over 50s karaoke event, it was awful. It was terrible.
Over 50s, you know.
Yeah, man.
God of mercy.
Disrespect. The disrespect.
I know.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, I remember that, Croc. Yeah, we went to listen to Mad Lib at Brixton.
DJing.
He was DJing, yeah. It was,
Oh no.
Yeah. Another one from Croc went to see Jazzy Jeff. Mr. Thing was warming up, but Mr. Thing stole the show. And that's a DJ before a DJ.
Jeff was dry coming on after Mr. Thing. Mr. Thing's a different thing, though, boy.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's you got to do your research. Who's this thingy guy? Just put him on. Get him off.
Pulling cables.
Get him off.
G-Force Leroy saw Naya as a support act at Little Dragon. She was amazing, and check her now. Yeah. Some very nice songs from very nice songs.
Yeah. It's the same one, Bigger G. He said it was Maya and Case. Case was awful. Case didn't even dress for the occasion for that concert. I wish I videoed it.
Wow.
So it was Maya and Case. Case did not want to be there. He didn't. There was no interaction with the crowd. Nothing. He just literally done about 4 or 5 songs. Ended with like 3 Michael Jackson do-overs. He had a pair of jeans on and some flipping leather waistcoats, and it was just people just going to the bar like, whatever, you don't want to be here, we don't want you to be here either. Just go. Maya was good though, yeah, for real. Bigger G, Maya was good. She brought dancers, you know, she put on a show. She was good. But yeah, it was terrible.
And that's the thing as well, because you've got those who will just come, pick up the mic and do their thing. And then you got those who put on a proper show. Even if it's them solo, there's some kind of organization or something that happens at a certain point, or the song's cut at a certain point. It's not just play the song from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Let it fade out.
Run the track.
Yeah.
A little monologue, and then, you know what I mean?
But I was like, with Jill Scott, she opened up by saying it's the 25th anniversary of her album, who's Jill Scott, and she's doing the whole album from start to finish live with a live band and everything.
Wow.
And from that I was like, yeah, this is going to be a show. And I just sat back and says, I'm going to be immersed. I didn't take out my phone or nothing. I said, I'm going to be immersed in this experience. And it was, yeah, man, it was something else. It was proper.
You see, there's a couple of people slating Jazzy Jeff now, and I'm disappointed, you know what I mean? Because I'm going to be seeing him in August. So my man better come correct, you know. You know what I mean? 'Cause I'm looking forward to it.
You know something that I'm wondering, and this is also to do with the DJ prep and stuff, is there are crowds that don't move if they don't know the songs.
Yeah.
And Jazzy Jeff is someone who's going to play what he wants to take you down that journey. He's not necessarily pulling out the songs that you may be 100% familiar with. So I'm wondering if that's part of it, because people are expecting to hear songs that they love or songs that they know. I've had people come up to me when I'm DJing, like, "Oh, I thought I was going to come and hear songs I know and love," and da, 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 da. You know, but
Play something I could dance to. One of them ones.
right.
Yeah.
And I'm playing Tweet Boogie tonight, which is, to me, is like a commercialist track. But they're saying that, so yeah, I'm wondering if that's part of it.
More than likely, yeah. People like stuff that they're familiar with when they go out.
Yeah. So hopefully it won't let you down at all. Hopefully it won't let you down.
And if your moments is hurt physically.
I was hurt.
Don't say Blackstreet. Don't be dissing Blackstreet, you know.
Listen, I was so disappointed. 'Cause like I said, that was.
Baby.
I wish it was
Before I
that.
let you go,
You see, you guys sound better than what I was hearing on the night. if it was you not doing that, I wouldn't complain.
These still going on tour now. They're going on tour with Blackstreet Blackstreet tribute band.
Was it Teddy Riley on that verses? Teddy Riley on the verses. Did you have the hype man with it?
And that's the thing, he wasn't even there. Teddy Riley wasn't even there, and they were singing over some fake remade backing tracks. I've told the story before, man. You've heard the story. It was,
Yeah. Oh Lord.
It was horrible, man. It was black, dark road, black
Black cul-de-sac.
Dark cul-de-sac.
Cul-de-sac.
dark avenue.
Back crack and sack. Yeah. Wow.
Anyway,
We've slain
Peter Pan
it's
man.
10 past 10. I think we need to stick a fork in this one and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good evening to Kronkante Tepo saying the giggles are on point. Big G. Could tell it was missing Teddy. Yeah.
Definitely, 100%.
Oh, speaking of legends, since we talking about Teddy, have you seen that Tony is touring? But they haven't announced any UK dates with Raphael. Tony is touring in America.
Okay.
See, I would pay money to go and see that.
Man.
Yeah.
Raphael's a beast.
Man.
Yeah. I'd pay money for that.
Yeah, that would be
Good.
great if they come here.
I like the venues like sort of Jazz Cafe.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Those kind of places
Intimate
where
venues.
you know what I mean? Yeah, you sort of sit down, have a meal, overlook the stage. Everything's just there. It's intimate. I love that vibe. I went to see Omar at what's that place in Thingy? What's that place in Brum?
Band on the Wall?
No.
Or was that Manchester?
No, it'll come to me. But I saw Omar live there with live band. That was so dope. So dope. You know what I mean? It's a whole different experience than like a big
Not the
arena.
Hockley Social Club, was it?
Yeah. No, it wasn't Hockley. Oh,
Bigger than that?
up, man. No,
Somebody said Jam House?
Jam House, that's the one. Jam House,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
there
Yeah.
Yeah, G-Force Leroy.
Yeah,
said
by Jewelry
Jam
Quarter.
House.
Yeah. What Questlove's at the Jazz
Jam
Cafe
House.
this Thursday? You lot in
Yeah,
London,
apparently.
spoiling us, spoiling.
Uno London
That's
has
spoiled, man.
telling
Some
me.
company costing £60 in petrol just to get there. Never mind the ticket.
Oh, God.
And counting the meal out and all of that too.
Telling you, never mind the tickets and the drinks and drinks. You know, Hammersmith. Yo,
Yeah, man. You have to
I had to pay-
dehydrate, leave it.
I had to
man,
pay
leave it.
£1 for the cups first and foremost. Yeah, and he told me that after he rung it up and says, "Oh, it's £1 for the cups." I said, "What do you mean it's £1 for the
A
cups?"
pound for the cup. What were they, crystal?
No, they were plastic. But basically,
What else are you going to put it in?
Cup.
It's like,
you buy the cup, yeah, and they say, "Oh, it goes to charity." Well, which charity is it going to first and foremost?
My
And let me make that decision whether I want to be charitable or not. If I don't want to be charitable, what options
Just
do I
pour
have?
my drink right here. I ain't-
None.
this is what I'm saying. Are we
I've got
going
no
back to
options.
I'm going to get you sucker?
So now you're forcing me.
I'm going to get you
You're forcing
sucker.
me to be charitable now.
the cup that's
Yeah.
Put it in my hand.
That's right.
I bought
How much for one
two.
rib?
I bought
One
what did I buy?
rib.
I bought 2 single Captain Morgan and lemonades for my
30
wife and my
pounds.
daughter. It was £18.
Ching.
£18, you know. I was like, yeah, you lot are wicked and bad.
Including cups, you know.
And look,
I brought the cups home. Yeah, I brought my cups home. I got the cups downstairs in the cupboard. I paid for them. But bring it if you bring it back. I said, if I bring it back, what?
What, I get the pound back?
No, you don't pay next time. If you come to buy another cup, if you come to buy another drink, you ain't gonna pay for your cup again. I'm like, I'm taking this cup home with me. You're joking.
Look, you pull up the
Well,
park
the next
friction
thing
and
I
say,
come to him,
damn, I
bringing the
forgot
same
that
cup.
cup.
There is.
I was looking for cups on the floor. You're joking. I was was looking around for cups.
Your kids even say, put it in your shoe.
You get me?
Oh, jeez.
My shoe.
Oh, sugar.
Yeah, let's go on to another segment. Yeah.
Yeah, but let's move.
Yeah.
So we got another music flavored segment. How do we, as DJs, source our music?
Dun, 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 dun.
So this is
Secret
like a
sauce.
straight follow on from
Yeah, man.
the first
Secret
one, yeah,
sauce, man. Where you get it from? Where you get that from, man?
I'll never tell.
That's it, man.
I'll tell you my process. It's very simple.
Well,
I've got a spot-
I'm not going to say where I get it from, but yeah. go.
No man, listen. You know me, Tech. I've always been. If I know the plug, I'm going to introduce you to the plug. To get what I'm saying, I lost a lot of money when I was younger because because I introduced a lot of people to the plug. I could have been the plug. You get me? Yeah, come man, I'll show you. Yeah, come, I'll show you where I get it from. Yeah, man, there's my man there.
Straight from here.
You get
Straight
me?
from here.
I never had no business acumen as a young person. Anyway, my process is very simple. I have a playlist on Spotify called Record This. You get me? And there's times where I just put my Spotify on random shuffle, and if something catches me, I just add it to that playlist, and then you get me. Eventually, I will work through that playlist and add them to Serato. So, if anyone introduced me to anything new, I'll add it to that playlist. If I hear something, I think, yeah, man, I like that. Boom, add it to the playlist. There's times where, like, if it's drum and bass or whatever, I've shared that playlist with my son, and I'm like, anything that you think's a banger, add it to that playlist, and he contributes to it as well.
Oh, cool.
So it's kind of crowdsourced it a little bit. My daughter's got access to it as well. And that's kind of my simple process. The hard part is the recording of it, because obviously you can't, like with Serato, you can't just drag and drop from Spotify into Serato. There's got to be a process of recording, which that's the long part for me. So on my other laptop, I've got it set up where I can just hit play on that playlist and record onto my computer, and then I've got to slice and dice and name and label and save. Salute Butch Cassidy. Salute Butch Cassidy in the building.
Butch in the building. I'll see you, man.
Butch in the building.
Evening.
Good evening, Butch.
Butch Cassidy.
You know what? I'm sure I saw Diesel earlier as well. Hold
Yes,
on.
you did.
Yeah,
Yes,
very
you
Did I see
briefly.
Diesel earlier? Where him there?
Yeah, man.
We almost
got the
finished.
man.
Salute to our missing brothers, Diesel, Butch, Croc.
Croc.
No doubt they'll be back real soon, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Respect, lads. Respect. Hope everything's cool.
There's a Butch said he's got a link. He's got a link for us. He knows the plug, the music plug. we need details.
He's got the
We need
plug.
details.
Me, my source. I go down rabbit holes, man. I listen to music all the time while I'm working. I listen to Tidal a lot. A few radio shows I listen to as well, and hear music from different sources, and obviously like the sort of curated playlist of songs that you like. They'll come up with new stuff, and you go, "Wow, what's that?" And then once you find that artist, I go, "Okay, I like that tune." See what else they got, and you'll find something else, and then you'll see like a featured artist on that song, and then that goes down another rabbit hole, and that's when you lose 3-4 weeks, man. You know what I mean? You just searching for stuff, man. You know what I mean? It's terrible. It's terrible. I can see how, like, sort of like the vinyl junkies, you know, the people that go like into a basement of a record shop and just stay there all day listening to tune. I can see
Easily.
I can see why, man. You know what I mean? It's crackhead business, man.
Yeah,
It is.
Crackhead
Slightly more
business.
comfortable. I could just do it in my living room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah, sort of whether it's Bandcamp or Beatsource or whatever, SoundCloud or whatever, I just try to find different stuff that flicks my switch, sort of thing. You know.
My process.
Also, listen to
is-
stuff that you guys play too. You might go, yo.
Well,
G-Drive,
that's that
man.
G drive. It's that magic G drive. That magic G drive.
I keep hearing about this G drive. I ain't seen it yet. What's going on? since week one, I've been hearing about this G drive. I ain't seen nothing in there yet.
It's not for you. You already got too much fire.
Oh, God. That's how it goes. I understand.
It's racist. It's racist.
I see what's going on here. I get it.
It's racist.
It's got to give him all the Infinity Stones. You know?
Butch hooked me up this week. Salute Butch for the hookup. He gave us, what was his name? Reginald Olmas.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah,
yes,
yeah. That was
Big,
dope.
big.
Yeah.
I've been listening to that all day today while I was working in the bathroom. Yeah, man.
So my process is, my wife listens to a lot of music, and her Spotify works different than my Spotify. So
The way her Spotify's set up.
the way her Spotify set up, yeah, or it's more like the way my Spotify set up. It you know, it's not gonna work. So if I'm riding with her, I can hear a bunch of songs that I don't normally hear because of what she listens to. And also my daughter, the way her Spotify set up is different. So if I'm listening to music with her, I'm even getting even more newer tracks. As a rule, I don't listen to radio, but this is a caveat. Sunday morning, I listen to Jazz FM when I'm getting up. And there's a lot of new stuff that's played by Tony Memviel, and he plays a lot of new stuff. So I will catch him on Sunday mornings. And I usually go where I can find stuff on Bandcamp as well. I prefer to buy my music from Bandcamp just because the artists benefit more from it. But if I can't find it on Bandcamp and I can't find another way to source it, I will resort to iTunes and buy it just to make sure that the artist is getting something from it.
Yeah. It's that's the thing as well, isn't it? There's so many ways to access music these days, but what actually goes back to the artist, there's a couple of posts that maybe we can discuss another time as to the best ways to support artists, because you know the number of streams that you have to get in order to get $1. Someone's having a rant with it, but for me, it used to be, you know, going down to the record shop and got familiar with the owner to the point where they would be happy to play an album for me and go through the tracks, because I'd be within 10 seconds I know whether or not I'm into it or not. But nowadays sourcing is just Spotify mainly. It'll be mainly Spotify going into radio mode and playing stuff based on what I've just listened to, and then I'll just add them to a playlist, and then you know from that. And I've got like Friction, I've got a certain playlist that I will listen to later. So I've got a playlist called Listen Later, where it might be an album that someone's just dropped. I just put the whole thing into Listen Later, and then I'll go through, remove it from the playlist. If I like it, add it to a playlist, remove it, add, remove it, add. That's really the only place. I've never been part of a record pool, but I did once get sent a few tunes, sometimes direct by artists, not anyone majors, so to speak, not to downplay them, but I'm talking about people who maybe don't have major radio airplay, which was cool. There was a couple producers who used to send me stuff, but it's not as much these days.
Oh, I forgot about that. I do get sent stuff by some people. Some of it's really good. Some of it's, yeah.
But that's
sometimes
the thing.
There's gold in it. Sometimes, but you just have to have time to actually go in and listen to what they've sent you.
Yeah, exactly. And do you guys find that the people who know you expect you to play their songs? Have you ever had that?
I don't think so.
No.
No.
Not so much. No.
I
I have had a
sense
couple of people trying to send me things, and it wasn't really stuff I'd play, but I rated it because I rate the person, you know what I mean? So supported it that way, but it didn't go with anything I would normally play, you know. But it doesn't mean that I wouldn't support him.
Yeah.
And what you're saying, yes, that he's got people who just expect him to play just because they know him. And I don't know, that's a bit, because you've still got to maintain your artistic integrity,
Your
so
brand.
to speak.
Yeah,
Yes,
your brand.
exactly that.
That's it. Yeah.
People in the chat, do you have a certain place that you go to find out new songs? Are you using YouTube? Are you listening to radio shows now? Because it used to be radio shows that were the avenue that people would hear new music, but now you can just follow an artist directly. You can jump on Spotify and find out what the new releases are. And that's probably the closest I've got to newer music. I might discover something that's 3 years old and then throw it on the show. But then the way my shows were, there was a time I was playing some songs, some guys like, is this new? I was like, no, it's about 7 years old. I was like, I never heard this before. And that for me is part of that sharing that I like, getting people to, as grown folks says, the ones that might have slipped away.
Yeah, definitely, because there's new and there's new to you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like I've found stuff and it's like 2014, 2015. I'm like, rah, that's like almost 10 years old. You know what I mean? But it's new to me. I've never heard it before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm playing it like it's fresh off the press.
Exactly.
We were
Probably
doing
from 2015.
a stream. It was probably one of those Friday streams, and Tech threw a track on that just blew my head off. And it was an older track, but it was like a bomb, and I still remember to this day, "Attention Span of a Cookie." And I'd never heard that track before. Never heard.
Was that originally from you, Dave? Did you
Sorry?
drop that one first? Did you drop that one first?
Which one?
Attention Span of a Cookie, Fatima.
No,
I can't remember where I got that from.
no, that
So I
was
heard somebody else play that. Where that's a tune. You know what I mean? Then I played it on mine. You know what I mean? Passing it forward. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dope,
Yeah.
dope.
Do you ever sorry, let me get my words right. Do you ever feel like you play the same music all the time?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I have to purposely venture away from stuff because
See, that's
it
what I've
just
got my
seems like
smart
it's the
crate
same
with.
thing.
Minimal play smart crate, and I'll dig out of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just a tune, so it's got that longevity.
There
And I
is
think
that.
that's the difference. You got tunes that are hot now, but you got tunes that have that longevity where it's a great track that 30 years later you can play it and people are still like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I think for me, I noticed it more. Number one, doing the raid train, because you're boxed in there. You kind of it's within this time period. So it's number one genre, it's hip hop, and it's between this year and that year. Do you get what I'm saying? So you are quite boxed in. And then for me, I've got 3 DJs doing an hour before me. So there's times where it's like my options just get tighter
It's
and
not to
tighter.
narrow.
Yeah. But then I noticed when I do like a drum and bass set on a Friday, and what I've found is I've got a certain crate that I dig through, but there's certain tunes I like. So a few weeks back, I said, you know what, I'm gonna play some of the ones that I haven't marked. So I color code some of my tracks, and some of them aren't color coded. And that's because they haven't made it through the shortlisting process. But I thought, let me give them a try, and I pulled some of them in, and I was like, yeah, I know why I didn't shortlist this one. I know why this one's not color coded. And what it taught me is I've got to trust myself. Do you get what I'm saying? I've got to trust that yes, no, or maybe. This never made it to maybe. I've recorded it, it's there, but it's not color coded, it's not in a certain crate for a reason. So then I just deleted them. I thought, you know what, I'm probably never going to play it again. Why keep it?
Yeah.
Just to have it, just delete it. But what it showed me is trust yourself. You know what I mean? You've got a certain taste, you like them, run with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got to, I guess at the same time you want to keep things fresh because you're thinking about your listeners as well.
Yeah.
Are they getting familiar? I think DJ Crop mentioned earlier in the chat that people are familiar with certain sets from certain DJs. They know the routine.
Yeah.
There was probably once upon a time where everybody was mixing Shades with Horace Brown because it had the same sample.
Okay.
So how do you differentiate yourself? Finding those new tracks is essential.
Baseline. That's how you differentiate.
Say again?
Straight
basslines. The
Big
dirt
stuff.
level.
Dirt on it. No question.
Yeah.
Is it a thing of introducing new music, and how you introduce it? Because there's some really good new music, but for me, I may be playing something and it's already in a groove, like some kind of a soul song, but there's something that's new soul, and bringing it in to that. Initially, it'll be kind of a shock to the listeners, until they can, hear it a few times and they be like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's okay? Is it one of those things of how do you introduce the new stuff so that it becomes a classic?
Yeah, yeah.
I just run it. I mean, anything that sounds good to me, I would just play it. It's not something that I say, okay, I'm going to play this a number of times so that people can latch onto it. I feel as though if I'm going to play something, I'm feeling that people will feel it enough to want to go and find out more about the artist.
Okay.
So even if their album's not all that, this particular song is great. So I'm going to feed that to you. You more than likely like it if you like the style that I play, and you go and check out the artist but will play that song. So I'm almost like throwing them something for them to run with, as opposed to I'm going to make you like this song.
Yeah. I've been caught out like that.
Sorry?
I've been caught out like that once or
Is
twice.
it?
So there's like a single that'll come out and you're like, man, this is dope. Can't wait for the album to drop. And you just assume, I'm gonna go buy the album because it's got to be dope. And the album is something totally different.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
for example, Amber Mark, her lead track was called Mixer. Dope song. The rest of the album just did not live up to it.
Yeah, so it's one of those. That was a thing back in the day. I don't know if it's as much nowadays, but I haven't found any like it nowadays. Where the single was great, then the album was just fillers. And I don't know if the filler thing is still a thing, but I just remember there was a time where definitely the single will come out. They get a hot producer or whatever to do the single, and the rest of the album was just filler.
People in the chat, do you have like a go-to source to hear new music? Are there any DJs or radio shows where you find that you're hearing new stuff? And how do you like that kind of served up to you? Do you like it in mixed up with stuff that's familiar to you, or does that even matter? Or do you like sort of find new music yourself while you're going through Spotify, Tidal, or whatever streaming service you use? How do you find new music? Do you seek out new music? Question to the chat group. Question to the chat. I think when I'm streaming, I think I think I must be quite selfish, man, because I'll just play what I actually like, and if there's anything that's familiar in it, sometimes it's not even the original version anyway. Do you know what I mean? So I'll just play weirdness.
But it's not even weirdness, because it's a case of I feel that that's what you are here to do. You play stuff that you like. If you're not, I don't know if people won't be able to see me on Spotify if they're listening, but I went into a venue one time. The DJ was just stood like this. He was just like this for the whole time, and he would just press a button, and then he's just, he bored out of his mind.
Is it the same guy
playing the songs?
Same guy played at Jill Scott concerts.
He's making the rounds.
Yeah, he bounced.
I think it's him. He had 2 gigs the same night. When he cut out, that's where he went. He went down a bar down the road.
He was playing both gigs at the same time.
Yeah, he just was not into what he was playing at all, and you could see it. But the crowd's happy because they're hearing the pop, top 10 pop songs or whatever it is. But when you're playing what you love, it comes out in your energy and it comes out in your happiness of playing it. So, you know what I mean? You just do you, man. Do you.
Shout out to Platts Pro in the house.
Platts.
We got Platts.
Salute.
Salute, sir. Salute.
So, in answer to the question, Miffy Moment says the new music I listen to usually comes to me through YouTube and Insta.
Ooh.
That's interesting.
Insta, okay.
Yeah, Insta.
Yeah,
True say.
interesting. I think with YouTube, I don't know, man. Something their algorithm. You've got to be quite specific about what you're looking for. That's what I've found anyway. Like with like Spotify and others. The recommendations are usually on points. Once you've played a certain amount of tunes, their recommendations are like, okay, yeah, man, I can see with that. But
I think I can safely say I've never found anything by accident on YouTube.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah. No, I don't think so. I think via obviously Spotify, Tidal, Instagram. Like you'll see somebody post something with music in the background. You go, yeah, what's this? Look at what the tune is. Boom. You know what I mean? So I can understand that, but I don't think I've ever found anything on YouTube.
Yeah,
I found a couple of playlists where there's 1 or 2 tracks in there. Like, okay, but it doesn't then affect my algorithm in a way to say, okay, let me give you more of this.
Yeah. So Kizzy Wizzy says Spotify, Bandcamp, Insta, and Twitch.
Twitch.
Yeah.
Twitch is
Kamsi-
interesting. Okay, because the streaming DJs, yeah. So,
Yeah. Like
Robert
those guys.
Helms, Radio London.
Okay, Radio London. Kerry Grant. Okay. Does anyone listen to BBC Introducing at all?
No, I haven't.
No.
I didn't even notice. Yeah.
Yeah, so they've got a platform where anyone can upload to the BBC Introducing site, and then what they do, they'll curate some for the show. So if 100 people upload, they'll pull the best, or 25 or 30, and have a specific show where they
Okay.
play all new
Introduce
music.
it.
Yeah.
I might have to do a couple uploads.
Yeah, if you get on there, you get paid, man. I think you get paid something like £70-something a stream
Okay.
I better upload it too.
onto Radio 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come.
That's it. YouTube isn't like it used to be. I'll tell you what, I remember working in the youth centre around 2000 and let me think. It's going to be around 2007, 2008. And I remember the kids coming in and just playing music on YouTube, and I was like, YouTube's to watch videos, why are you playing music on there? And there weren't any visuals to the track. It was just like the name of the track.
Yeah.
And what I realised is that the young people almost told YouTube, this is what you should be doing with your platform, because they ain't paying for no Spotify, they're not paying for no Apple. We're going on YouTube and we're playing music. And it was them that showed me, like, you can use
give me what I
YouTube,
want.
because then they started creating their watch list and their playlists.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll get it now. I'll get what you're doing. They just come to the youth club, straight on the in the computer room, boom, straight to YouTube, and just play music.
Yeah.
Like that was
And
their
they don't
go-to.
have the issue of the phone closing, so it's not going to stop the stream.
Yeah.
Oh, little tip for anyone on Android. Download an app called Tiny Apps, and then you can copy the YouTube link, put it into Tiny Apps on the web browser inside there, and it will play even if you close the screen.
But you got to be an Android user.
If you're an
What's
Android
this
user.
thing you talk about called Andrew?
I think it's AI.
Andre?
Something to do with AI, I think. I don't know.
Apple man's.
Where do we get one of these Andres from?
What is this Android of which you speak?
Foreign language.
Yeah, don't watch them, Dave, man. I'm Android till I die, man. All day. Yeah, man. Respect.
Tampon. Like a tampon.
Panda.
Forever.
Right. One Nation, Croc said, algorithms work for me to an extent. SoundCloud works well for me for quite a while. There's been a certain live streamer who always plays dope music, and I don't know. I also follow producers, remixers, and artists on Bandcamp. That's how I rate.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, similar.
Yeah, because that was the thing. I used to follow producers more than artists. So I would look for the producer credits, and then in this case, it's produced by so-and-so, likely to be good. Okay, let me check it out. Let me see what they're doing.
Yeah.
But nowadays, because Spotify, you have to go into the credits to try and find a producer. Sometimes it's not even there.
It's not even there. That just grieves me. That does,
It's disrespectful, really, isn't it?
Disrespectful. Yeah, man.
Very
Gig time.
disrespectful, man.
Gig time.
It's disrespectful.
And all it is that whoever's uploaded it, whether it's a label or whoever's uploaded it, just couldn't be bothered to fill out that section. They just left it blank. Because when you upload, obviously you can fill out all those categories, and it will add it to all the platforms. They just put the artist name, boom, gone.
But that used to be part of buying the whole thing, because you'd have the artwork, on the back, or if it was CD, you have the booklet, and then you see who was it produced by, who was on the strings, who was on. I mean, like A-Marie played the flute on a few of her tracks. It's like, oh, that's interesting.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So
It's interesting as well, because in some cases you can find a tune with an artist over it, and the beat makes the tune. Do you know what I mean? The artist is on it, he's riding the rhythm, and it sounds amazing. Then you go, right, okay, let me go down a rabbit hole and find what other tracks this guy's done. And the rest of them are trash. Do you know what I mean? It was actually the producer that made that first tune. Do you know what I mean? I've done that multiple times. You know what I mean? So yeah, they should have those details on there and pay homage to to the man them that make the tune.
Yeah, Kizzy
Come
Wizzy's
on.
mentioned that, you know, with the YouTube method, you get interrupted by adverts every other minute.
Unless you
Is that
use,
something that was
ad
a-
blocker, that's not an issue.
Ah, okay.
Ad blocker plus.
Man circumventing the thing.
Yeah, man.
Wowzers, allegedly.
I can't watch.
Allegedly.
If I watch YouTube on
As
my
we stream to
phone
YouTube now, as
or
we
on listen, YouTube bonfire on YouTube adverts. Yeah?
Allegedly.
No,
fire to second friction.
fire with a PH. But yeah, I can't watch YouTube on my phone or on the Fire Stick
Fire.
because you can't block ads. So I watch YouTube on my laptop because I've got Ad Blocker Plus on there. It's free.
Right.
You can add it to your browser in Firefox or in Chrome.
So that stops the ads coming up every
Yeah,
how
man.
many minutes?
Yeah,
Really?
man. Yeah,
I didn't know you could stop that. I thought you just had to click.
No, man,
Yeah,
Ad Blocker
carry on.
Plus. Trust me, it'll change your life. It'll revolutionize your life.
You know how annoying that is.
There's a few
When you got
plugins I've
some-
got.
what about if I told you I could make you a 7-figure salary?
Dave makes £3,000 a day from his laptop with a Mercedes behind him.
Yeah,
I'm going
yeah.
to show you the exact formula Dave uses to make his free. Skip.
As soon as oh, the one now is, I like it, it's mine. The prices blow my mind. Timu, Timu.
I send money abroad using Remitly.
Oh, man.
I work
Brutal,
3
man.
hours a day, and I'm here to tell you how.
Yeah. Do you know what the best? Yo, freak! It must be like a Wolverhampton thing. Have you seen the ABC Countdown advert?
No?
Taxis advert, man.
No.
It's got to be.
You see, that's because you got your location turned on your phone. That's why you turn your
No, man,
location off.
the location, you know.
They've got you somehow.
Yeah, man. Now
Trust me, you
they've
accepted
hacked
some
into my
cookies or
mainframe.
something.
Yeah, man. They've hacked into my mainframe. It's terrible, man. It creases me up. I have to watch it. because it's hilarious.
Send me the link.
Yeah, man. It's
Gosh.
one Asian guy going, well, you know, I've been driving taxis for like. You know when you watch advert, like, I don't know what adverts for. I don't know if it's for like people to use the company. I don't know if
become
it's
a
for people to
driver.
use or be a driver. I don't know.
I used to work for Uber for a bit, but since I've been away by saving, money's increased a lot.
I don't really like Uber because, like, you know, the rigmarole of like if you leave your phone in the taxi, you've got to, you know what I mean? You can talk to a person. And I was like, bro, what you selling, bro? What you selling?
Boy, some regional adverts.
Oh gosh.
I love it.
You know what gets me as
Shut
well
up,
is
location
how,
around Wolverhampton.
how you could be watching a 5 or 10 minute video and they interrupt you with an hour 30 advert.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah,
A seminar. They give you a
I'm gonna
whole
say-
seminar.
I've got to say though, there was one time
I
a
watched
YouTube
that,
advert
yeah.
came on and I watched all of it, and that was what was it? Is it Ray Black? You remember Ray Black? She had that track Run. Do you remember that?
No.
I'm sure it's Ray Black. She had a track called Run. Anyway, that song was an advert before another song, so it's perfectly placed. Do you get what I'm saying? So if let's say I've searched for, I don't know, UK hip hop or whatever, and I'm listening to certain tunes, that song came on as an advert before another song. So I didn't skip it. I just assumed it was the next song playing,
Yeah.
the next video playing, not
Yeah.
realizing that's an advert. I watched the whole thing from start to finish, and I thought, I just watched the whole advert. From that, that introduced to the
me.
song.
They got me.
Yeah.
You know, it was like and the video was kind of like a short movie.
Gotcha,
And I was
frick.
like, yeah, man. But the thing is, it was perfectly placed. It
In your
worked,
Dave Chappelle voice.
and I wasn't offended. Do you get me? To me that taught me about how correct advert placement works. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, you're the joke, man. There's this one advert, you know, like those car supermarkets that they have around the place, like Wednesbury and stuff, right?
Someone's
echoing.
I think it's Dave.
It's Dave ramping with his things. What you doing, Dave?
Yeah. I got you, man. I got you. I muted you.
All right,
Dave,
respect.
Dave and his dodgy
Please
earbud.
continue.
In it. It's fake Apple.
That's
Pear.
it. That's that Andre. That's that Andre phone, isn't it?
He's found his earbud. He dropped down the side of his desk.
Man's got Satsuma laptop, man.
In the last blizzard that we had. Yeah.
Satsuma Tarotted.
Anyway, go on. What was you saying?
You know what? I forgot what I was going to say now. You mashed me up.
We're talking about local stores, local supermarkets.
Oh yeah, the car supermarkets. There's one in Wednesbury. There's an area near me, and their advert is genius. It's like a 30-second advert. But what they do, they have no sound whatsoever. So imagine like you're watching an advert, you're watching whatever. You know what I mean? It could be whatever advert's on, and then they come on and it goes quiet. So if you're not looking at the TV, going, "Is my TV broke?" and it makes you look at it. Yes. Genius. Absolute genius.
Banging on top of the telly.
Genius.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Very clever.
What's going on?
Don't think anyone does that anymore, but I remember that whole banging on top of the telly. I think tellies are too fragile now.
Yeah, man, you drop off the wall.
Pull it off the wall.
This thick.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Percussive
It was like,
maintenance is what it's
boom,
called.
Only Villa fans do. Bang on top of the TV. Villa and Arsenal
Bitterness.
fans.
Bitterness.
Yeah. Anyway, from we touching football, that means we need to move on.
Serious.
Rinse the subject.
Yeah, man. Hold on. Where the video them there? Is where them there. That's
Sexy graphics.
it's sexy. Next topic. This is a suggestion from Frick. Frick, you care to elaborate, bro?
Yes. So again, this kind of came from the Jill Scott concert. What we noticed is Jill incorporates some of her acting into her show, like just the way she was interacting with the crowd, you know, the way she was just in and out of character. She kind of brought an element of drama to the stage, and then she had some dancers as well, some choreography going on, which was part of the story, which was a great touch. So anyway, we came away from that, and when we was driving back, we was talking about artists we'd like to see, then we was talking about biopics and films, and you know, doing more than just concerts, like, you know, whether it's stage play, theatre productions, etc. So the question was, which artists, groups, or, you know, albums, whatever, would you like to see brought to the screen or the stage, either as a biopic or as a like a theatre production, a live theatre production?
Leaders of the New School, the musical. Boom.
Oh wow,
Oh,
that I'd go to see.
Can you imagine that?
Whoever's playing Busta Rhymes better be on point.
It better be good, for real. Whoever plays Charlie Brown better be good. But, you know what I mean? The Leaders of the New School, the musical, man. That will take my money. Just take my money right now.
Yeah, man.
Take my money.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Public Enemy, that's a great one. Kizzy Wizzy, great one.
Big. Yeah, I'd want to see the biopic of that.
Yeah, that'd be
Definitely.
amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
What were your thoughts, guys? Have you seen the NWA one?
Yeah, I was gonna say straight
What
out
were
of
your thoughts
Compton,
on that?
right?
Straight out of Compton. What are your thoughts on that?
I enjoyed it. It, man. Yeah, I did. It told the story, and I think because we live in a time now where we hear a lot of backstories anyway because of podcasts and things like that. You get to hear a lot of the backstories which previously we weren't privy to hearing.
Yeah.
So I knew a lot of the story anyway, but to see on screen, it was like, okay, yeah, man, you've told the story. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, from the opening scene, you know, when they get raided, and I thought, yo, this is going to be deep. This is going to be, and it kind of lost me a little bit in regards to how it was delivered. I think the story was powerful and it was really well played. Obviously, Ice Cube's song was in it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think some of the scenes, to me, didn't sit right. I don't think they were very well.
Yeah. So more the direction of it, the way it was directed. Yeah.
Maybe it was way it was directed or way they kind of encapsulate certain scenes. You know what I mean? You think I'm pretty sure it didn't go like that, you know. Do you know what I mean? It's certain bits. You know what I mean? I know it was a crazy time and there was a lot of wildness going on, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I was a little bit disappointed myself, to be honest, because I was looking forward to that. Ooh, there is a Tribe Called Quest. There's a documentary.
The
but not a
documentary.
biopic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
On the go ahead. Go on, Fox.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say on the Straight Outta Compton. What I thinking about it, I don't think they highlighted just how young they were. Because they come across like they're maybe approaching their 30s or something in the film, but I'm sure a couple of them were teens and early 20s, and to have that much sort of say resilience toward the police at that age and have that experience, I don't think they focused on that as much as they maybe could have, but because that's where Ice Cube got his inspiration for the lyrics. That's where he started writing his stuff, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I think the only scene that kind of planted that seed was obviously Dre was living at home with his mom, and Ice Cube was on the bus, the school bus, you remember? And that guy came on with the gun on the school bus. But they didn't really kind of, hit it on the nose to say, these guys are in their teens.
Yeah, Dilla musical would be dope. Someone said Dilla earlier, I think. Oh yeah, Natasha. Did a biopic called Connect Gardens.
Production, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kizzy Wizzy, yes.
The teacher.
Imagine, that'd be dope, mate. Scott La Rock and all that business, all that backstory. That'd be amazing.
I'd like to see the Raphael Sadiq story. Just everything he's gone through, because if you start off with, I guess, the trials and tribulations of him growing up and whatever he went through there and carried through to its success, now I think that would be a good story. And the other one, and it's been done before, is, I guess, the Marvin Gaye story. But I'd like to see Usher play a young Marvin Gaye.
But there's a new artist who's like Marvin Gaye, quote unquote, reincarnated, that you mentioned not too long ago, wasn't it?
October.
August, there you go. But you prefer Usher?
I think Usher looks more like him and probably would have more
experience of.
I think he'd be able to bring it a little better. I mean,
because he's also done a couple.
Yeah, he's got the voice, for sure. But I don't think he would have been. I don't know. He might do fine. You never know.
Yeah, Butcher's come with a couple of UK ones. He's got Heartless Crew and Soul Solid. I think he mentioned earlier as well.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
That'd be interesting, man.
Yeah,
that'd be dope, man.
Yeah, almost like with a what's it called? Top Boy kind of taste or twist to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
even just that whole time period with all the pirate radios. You know what I mean? You got, like you said, Heartless, Soul Solid, More Fire Crew, Wiley, and all them. You know what I mean? A whole
K2
kind of
family and all that.
Yeah, man, a whole movie like that. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, there's a few, I guess, artists that we're familiar with, but I think they've already had stuff. So Whitney Houston is a stage show. Tina Turner, there's a stage show. Michael Jackson, there's a stage show. Bob Marley, there's a stage show. But then who is around that? Because you kind of, I guess, want to know about controversy, or you just want to know their story. Which one is it? Or is it just either?
We want a whole kind of
drama.
power series where we get all the kind of all the angles.
Juicy details.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
The Puffy
This
Combs
one from
story.
Pat's Pro. Def Jam story.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Russell Simmons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Berry Gordy.
That would
Soul
be
to Soul
quite-
stage show, Butch says.
Oof.
Wow.
Interesting. That'd be good. That'd be
Yeah, we should pitch some of these ideas to some
production companies.
We're giving away
I've
gold
got a
here.
script.
Yeah.
We can do the soundtrack too.
Did anybody watch Hamilton? The musical?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
So
was
I liked that.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I did like that. And then we went to go and see. There was it Othello? Some shake. It was either Othello or another one, but it was in rap. We went to go and watch one at the theatre in Stratford upon Avon one time, and again, that was, I thought, yeah, man, I like the way you've done this. You kind of, you know what I mean, brought Shakespeare to the streets, as it were. It was all delivered in like rap,
Modernised
spoken
it.
word.
Yeah. But I think, you know, the Puffy story that grown folks mentioned would be quite interesting, because I remember seeing him in the Don't Curse video, you know, just with the banner in the background. He wasn't rapping or anything, he was just in the background doing his thing.
Yeah.
And to get that fully from his perspective might be one thing, but you know, there's two sides to a coin, and yeah.
I just thought, you know, I'd like to hear Slick Rick's backstory, because obviously he went through it, man. You know what I mean? At one time he was top of the world, and then got locked up. You know, and obviously he's come out the other end now. I'd like to hear that whole story.
How he got the eye patch.
Yeah, that's it.
Evidently, not evidently, but Charlie Wilson has a great story. From riches to rags to riches.
Wow.
Because I guess if it's a musical, you also want someone who's got a consistent sort of track record. And I'm trying to think of someone who's got like 5 albums that are kind of critically acclaimed. So a Jill Scott backstory might be nice.
Yeah.
But would it be a musical, or would it be a theatre show? Just a straight theatre show, because she's not necessarily got dance hits as such.
Yeah. I hear ya. But then, okay, it could be a musical. If they haven't got the catalogue, they could write new songs in the style and flavour of that artist that tells the story. So imagine like Lauryn Hill. I think Lauryn Hill, her story would make a great musical or a great stage play. And there's elements of that story where it's like, yo, she's only done one album. Yes, she's had the Fugees, you know, in a refugee camp, all that kind of stuff. Then her own album, which was massive. But then there could be gaps where it's like that story is told in musical form, but they've written new music. And even if you know if the artist writes and produces it, however it happens, but they could do that.
This is that whole giving away of the idea and stuff, but it'll be interesting to see an artist come out with the album musical. There's a group called Salty Soul, and their album sounds like a theatre production.
Yeah,
it just sounds that each track you just go through and you feel like it's a story that's gone from one thing to another to another to another to another, and it's like feels like it's a theatre production.
Who is this again?
Salty Soul.
Salty Soul.
No, Salty. I think it's SAUTI, and then SOL. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember that Prince Paul album? Was it called Prince of Thieves? Prince Paul, and that was a whole it was literally like a theatre production.
It's like when you were saying that, Dave, it's kind of like Master Ace and Marco Polo, Brooklyn Story.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's another one where it's kind of like a story throughout as Master Ace going to Brooklyn, and you know what I mean? It's dope. Dope. Everything just sort of connects onto the next. Beautiful.
Isley Brothers would be cool.
That would be a good one, because there's quite a bit of controversy around them as well when they in their later years. The band breaking up and who actually wrote songs, and you got Chris.
Yeah, you want some contention in there, man. You don't want it all like sort of rainbows.
All right, then what about the Blackstreet story then with Teddy Riley, his journey, and then Rex and Effect, then Blackstreet, and then the breakup, the publishing, the licensing, all that drama. That'd be interesting.
Same with Tribe as well.
Teddy Riley's his influence runs deep, you know. So just a quick side note. I was listening to some tracks the other day. And you remember Redhead Kingpin?
Yes.
What was it? What was his big song called?
Do the Right Thing.
Yeah. That came on, and I thought, right, this sounds like Teddy Riley produced this. So again, I done the show credits, and it came up with a name, and it was what was his name? Something Riley. I didn't recognize the name, but it was something Riley, and I thought, I wonder if that's the alter ego of Teddy Riley. I googled the name. It was Teddy Riley's brother, and I thought, wow, that's how influential this guy is. Like, I recognize that sound as Teddy Riley's sound. When I searched it, it was his brother that produced the song.
Wow.
I was like,
Okay.
oh, wow. So yeah.
That's
Do the right thing.
And then
Yeah,
it got
they
rejected,
kingpin,
didn't it? Spike Lee didn't want it for the film.
Yes, he didn't. No, he didn't. It's like-
Yes, he didn't.
He's like, yeah, nah.
Why didn't he want it? Why didn't he want it? Was there a reason?
I think he.
Public
go on.
enemy, fight the power.
But he ain't gonna beat
Come
that,
on.
innit?
Yeah, you're gonna beat
You know
that,
what I mean?
really. Maybe it was too on the nose. It was too. It was like, yeah, you're trying it. It's a bit like Nelly,
God.
Nelly and his Air Force One.
We got Robert. Robert is in there. Robert's in the chat.
Freedom the musical. And you know he'll record it in the afternoon and be ready. Written, produced, arranged.
You get it directed, produced.
And the video.
Dear.
Yeah, that
I mean,
would be
you're gonna
controversial. Yeah.
watch it. You're gonna watch. If there was an R. Kelly movie, you're gonna watch it.
But it would be
There have been
There is
so
a movie,
dramatic.
There have
That's
been
the
R.
problem.
Kelly
There is a
movies.
movie. There is a movie. That's why my
dear.
man's banged up, mate. That's why he's banged up.
You've seen them all. Just when you thought you'd seen them all, you now bring it to the big screen
In 4D.
in 4D.
4DX.
You can
know what I
smell
mean?
the pee.
Bring your umbrellas.
You can smell the pee.
Going down. Oh, Kelly, the
The views
music.
expressed. Soundcheck podcast.
Boy.
No, sir.
Robert.
Nah, I, like I said at the beginning, I think Buster's story would be amazing when he, obviously, Leaders of the New, and then he went on his solo thing, and then basically he was on everybody's tune. I mean, he invented the feature, like he said the other day.
Sure did.
Yeah.
And
That was a
then-
nice speech.
You know what I mean? It was amazing. And then he kind of had that dip off, that drop off, depression and stuff, and then came back to carry on winning, man. You know what I mean? So that'd be a dope story to listen to, man. Plus, the music for that would be incredible. You know what I mean? So
The Snoop Dogg story.
Yeah.
everything.
it'd be
Snoop Dogg's done everything. He's on every advert,
He's
every
everywhere.
TV program.
See, I'd want to see the stage play of that. I'd want to see Snoop on stage.
I think I saw him at the car wash down the street the other day.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Because that whole story about going full circle to actually buy the label that you were on,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big move, man. That's,
you know?
That's a power
that's
move.
what jiu-jitsu that is, buddy. That's heavy.
Yeah. And especially as one of the albums was called Paid the Cost to Be the Boss. But that was just him doing his own thing. But now later on to come and acquire what, yeah. Yeah,
Big
that
move.
would be interesting. That would be very interesting.
Like his acceptance speech. I want to thank myself.
Can you imagine all the legalities that had to take place for that to happen? Like all the lawyer conversations, and even to this day, they're probably still taking place because the amount of things he said he needed to put right, like there's certain producers weren't getting paid, certain publishing needed to get re-established. There's so many different things that need to be negotiated.
Yeah.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot.
It's 11:01, guys.
Wow.
Time flew by, didn't it?
Time flies, man. It's crazy.
Sure did.
It's crazy.
I just suddenly felt the energy drop. I just thought, oh no, I've got to go back to the bathroom tomorrow. This was like an escapism. It's just like, oh, it's normal. Everything's normal. And I was
5
like,
hours later.
A few moments later.
Later that day. Mate,
thought it
I've got to
was
say I
safe.
don't envy you. I do not envy you, man, because I know what level of graft that is. It's
It's not
ridiculous.
fun. It's gone from being an interesting project to be engaged in to this ain't fun no more.
Yeah, this ain't the one.
This ain't fun.
Have you got all the right tools to do it though? Because you know when
Yeah,
you
man.
haven't got the right tools, you got to wing it. It's
Nah, man, I got
kind of
tools,
it just
man.
makes everything long.
No,
Right.
no, I've got tools. We've got tools.
We're good because I wouldn't be allowed to start nothing like that. I would just be no. Cammy would not let me
I've
even
got a
consider
flathead
starting
screwdriver,
nothing like
Phillips
that.
screwdriver. I've got
And a hammer.
a multi-tool kit from Untouchables. I got a tape measure out of Christmas cracker. I want a piece of wood.
And the screwdrivers from the Christmas cracker too.
Untouchables, you know when you buy the one pack, it's got like 15 screwdrivers in it.
Yeah. And they're all disposable. You use them once. That's it. You took off the head. Use it once. It's a disposable kit.
Untouchables. Explain to the people what Untouchables are, man. People in Wolverhampton would understand what that joke is.
It's a very cheap hardware store where you can decorate your whole house for like £15. The paint's gonna peel off the wall in the next 6 months. You need about 14 coats to cover the smallest little mark on the wall. The tools are all disposable. The paintbrushes, the bristles will come out the paintbrush. So like when you get your I don't know if you ever had a council flat when you was younger, you get like a £100 grant to help decorate your flats from the council.
Go straight there, boy.
You could go to Untouchables, and buy the whole shop.
Yeah, man.
That's mine.
Yeah, man.
I remember our first flat was a council flat.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And they gave us like £100, I think it was, to decorate it. And boy, you painted that place and painted it until the whole bucket was gone, and it still was just about the same color you started with.
Yeah, you can still see the writing on the wall from the last tenant.
I will come back for you.
Yeah, man. Just get a big 5-litre tin of like blue paint.
That's it.
It's got no fancy names. What it's got? We got blue, red, black, white. Which one you want?
And the white one was like milk.
Yeah, man. Blue.
Listen, man. Dulux. If it ain't name brand, forget it. You're painting it 14 times. It's Dulux.
Really are.
Brilliant white.
Making it sound like you might as well use copy decks.
Yeah, man.
Serious? Take about the same amount of time. Real talk. People, what you want for the rest of the week, man? I know what Frick's on.
Yeah, you know where to find me.
Yeah, man, I know where Frick is, man.
I haven't even been on the gram. I look at the gram. I just think,
Have you got knee pads?
Yeah, man. I need them.
Yeah, man, serious.
Yeah, man,
that's the worst thing, That's the worst thing. Your knees hot in you.
Yeah, man.
You're trying to find a comfortable angle to kind of end up lying on the floor on your side.
I don't even wear goggles no more. You know those face shields they brought out when it was COVID? I've found a decent use for them now. During COVID, I was like, that's some foolishness. Move with that. Where now I use it for my DIY, because with the goggles it protects your eyes, but when you cut in tiles, you get the shrapnel in your face.
Yeah.
So I'll get the whole face shield now. And you just hear ting 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 ting.
Raw. Bare scars, like that action, man.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Join us next week for more DIY tips.
Tip number 1: hire the professionals.
Yeah, like, don't do.
Leave that ish alone.
Get a man in. You know what I mean? Real talk, man. Real talk. Yo, people, let's call it a day, man. This is people's traumatized. Do you know what I mean? Everybody in the chat, thank you for passing through, man. Big love. Come from the Soundcheck, massive. Big up to Butch Cassidy, to Croc, to Diesel. Hope to see you guys again real soon.
Yeah, my brother.
Love. And people, I'll catch you real soon, yeah? Oh, hang on.
Next week, y'all.
I hope so.
Gang.
Peace.
Podcast.